Welcome to the final video on managing applications. Now today what we're going to talk about is a few last things. So last time we locked this application and I've currently unlocked it, but just so you know, if you want to unlock an application, just select it and in other actions go to the unlock section. And what that's going to do basically is allow the person to continue to modify their application. Okay, so let me uncheck this and let's talk about something else, the filter section. So typically when you want to add a filter, you want to add a rule. And when you add a rule, and the reason I say add a rule, by the way, is most of the time you're going to want to see active submissions anyway. So that's there. But if you want to add an additional filter, usually I would scroll down to the task completion section, and we're talking about global applicants. So let's view them here, and then I can say show me everyone who has not completed this particular task. And then it's going to show me all of those. And now what I can do is I can select these individuals, send them an email, and say, hey, how come you guys didn't finish this task? Something along those lines. So you can also do some fancier things. You can press add rules. You can change ands into ors. You can group conditions like this. And again, change ands and ors and things like that. And the other nice thing is that in the filter section, you can also choose things like if you wanted to use states as a filter, show me everyone who is in one of the following states. So you could do things like that. Filters can get pretty advanced. You can negate things. Again, we're not going to go into the complicated detail, but just so you know, filters are pretty powerful, and you can use them in that way. Let's apply these filters to see all of the active submissions one more time. And then I'm going to show you one more thing, which is renaming submissions. So if you click on rename, something interesting is going to happen. You're going to get a new interface. And in this new interface, you're going to see a list of all of the applications. And at that point in time, one of the things you'll be able to do is modify the names of all of these submissions in one shot. Now, one of the reasons people use this is sometimes, you get applications that make it to a certain part in the competition, and then you want to assign it your own code, or you want to give it some form of a status or number or things like that. Now, we do have some default IDs that we give submissions, and you can modify them so they increment and things like that. And we'll talk about that in the settings section, but just to let you know, if you wanted to make mass changes to the submissions or the way that you identify these submissions, this is where to do it. By the way, by default, one of the options that we have is the ability to allow users to specify their submission name. But we also have other options where you can get the applicants to get a default submission name, such as their first name and last name, or things like that. So all these options are there, and they're there for your use, and we can talk about them more in the in future tutorials when we talk about settings. But that's it for now. That's it for managed submissions. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.